everybody. Welcome back. It's Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to all our friends observing the first day of Hanukkah. The markets are doing great today, but on Money Monday we talk about all facets of money. And we got another one of our money guests on today. Joining us today is Jeff Wallner. He's a Wall Street banker. He's a former sports agent. And at one point was even in camp with the Cincinnati Reds, so a fine baseball player himself. How you doing, Jeff? Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We talked a little bit earlier in the show today about how China is really calling the shots on the NBA. You know what I mean? One obscure GM tweeted something out about supporting Hong Kong, and China shut off the NBA across, basically the whole country. What is China's role in the sports economy?
I mean, China's huge overall, in not only in business and sports. I mean, basketball's really that's really their focus. Baseball, not so much, but the NBA is really more with their, they like to have the NBA guys go over there and play, and so that's pretty much China's all about.
You don't think China overall is interested in American baseball?
It's
Seems
not
like these guys coming out of like Japan and stuff. Korea
Asia's
big hits.
Asia's huge in baseball. But it's mostly like Japan and Korea that's really noted for baseball. China's more focused on the basketball.
Jeff, I'm eager to ask you about your personal career trajectory because it's been an interesting one. But since John brought up the China issue, I want to take advantage of your expertise in another one of your hats, and that's in Hollywood, in the movie business. One of the things that's been so interesting in recent years is that we've seen these Hollywood studios bend over backwards to appease China because they're so desperate to have access to the billion potential moviegoers. We saw the first Independence Day, Americans were able to beat the aliens on their own. The second one, they needed the Chinese. The Martian with Matt Damon, who rescued him? The Chinese. Gravity with Sandra Bullock. Who was it that rescued him? I think it was the Sandra Bullock movie. Whatever, the space Sandra Bullock movie. She got rescued by the Chinese. The Arrival. Who was the heroes in that movie? The Chinese. So we're seeing Hollywood actually change the endings from making America the traditional heroes of American movies to make the Chinese the traditional heroes. And we're also seeing more of an emphasis on action movies and sci-fi movies and less on comedy and nuanced dramas. I'm curious, how do you, as a film guy yourself, how do you see this playing out going forward?
I mean, listen, the big box office movies, that's what draws the crowds into the theaters. These big budget movies. I tend to focus and look for more story-driven films. True life stories. Things that people could relate to.
Maybe that's your problem. Maybe picture The Return of General Tso. Imagine what a hit that would be.
Yeah.
So Jeff,
General Tso was at my house last night. I love that General Tso chicken.
But Jeff, tell folks, how did you go from being a Wall Street guy to being involved in a sports media company and in the film business?
Yeah, I was at an investment bank in New York City, and over 17 years on Wall Street, I helped build sports and entertainment divisions for various investment banks, and I represented over 100 professional athletes. And towards the end of my career, I was asked to help a particular very famous movie star. His son was a football player in Canada, and he was looking for a tryout with the New York Giants, and I helped him get a tryout with the Giants, and it turned out that his family was interested in me they casted me to do a play here in New York City, and
that was it. The rest is history.
I mean, it was Mrs. Washington, Denzel Washington's wife, and JD. It was funny because JD went on to he left his football career and went on to obviously Ballers, and he's a big movie star now, and I got a shot doing some movies, and then I was more, because of the business aspect of being on Wall Street, I was interested in the business behind, in the movie business. I was interested in the business, so that's when I started to look for things that I could get involved with on the production side.
I always thought this show would do well with a film adaptation.
Yeah,
right?
we might. Yeah,
Exactly.
you might want to think about making a movie about
Liquid
us.
Lunch,
Yeah.
the motion picture.
It would be a riotous comedy. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. Comedies do well.
From where
Last-
I'm sitting, it'd be a tragedy.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, I want to ask you, you're all decked out in your finest Ray Donovans there. You know, you're looking good. These
Thank you.
sports award shows, what's the cool way to dress now for the big award shows?
I was at the ESPYs this year in LA, and you know, now these award shows have become really turned into like also a fashion statement. You know, people want to look good. The athletes, the celebrities. It's all about you know, fashion. I went to the Academy Awards, and you know, it's people want to look good, man. There's a lot of pictures being taken, a lot of magazines, paparazzis everywhere.
A lot of them wear like these crazy outfits and everything.
Yeah,
What's
well-
wrong with just a good old-fashioned tux, a nice classy tux?
I mean, I like the James Bond. I mean, I was in an article in Forbes, and I quoted, you know, the James Bond clean look. You know, people, you know, some people out there, they need to, you know, they need to show a statement. I guess they got to go to that next level, and always pushing fashion to a whole other level.
Great.
You know?
Well, you're pushing it there yourself. You look fantastic.
Thanks.
You got the little tuxedo lapels there going.
Yeah,
and
you know, got
everything.
some Christmas parties to go to tonight.
There you
so-
go.
so-
All right. Well, Jeff Wallner, hopefully you'll join us again when you're in New York, and we can even Skype in if you're working on anything great. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with my brother Derek. Derek Tobacco is the man on the street, and he's hitting the streets here in New York, talking to people about the holiday season and all the things that are going on in the news right after this.